Let's take a look at the numbers for our starting goaltenders presented by Honda. Semyon Varlamov shut out the Blues on December the 23rd, and he has the 9th best save percentage in the league. At the other end, it will be Brian Elliott coming off a 27 save shutout against the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday night, and the best goals against average in the NHL. Set to go with that top line, David Backes, Alex Steen, and TJ Oshie out against Jarome Iginla, Nathan MacKinnon. And now a quick change here as O'Reilly goes off and Matt Duchene steps on. So O'Reilly out just to take the opening face-off and offside at the Colorado Avalanche line.
So the chess game begins early and often with Patrick Roy and Ken Hitchcock, and let's see exactly what's going to transpire. Hitchcock gets last change, so say, okay, let's play. Stastny, Schwartz, and Gaskin out. And he's calling the referee over, Gisela and Bear. He's telling them to make sure they don't cheat on line changes.
Patrick Roy extremely happy with the way his team played in Tampa the other night despite a loss, and Ken Hitchcock wondering about who should have been out there for him.
That's what he was talking about. Just a little gamesmanship too, I think, Chris, from Hitchcock, the master motivator.
And right from that face-off, Brad Stewart steps onto the bench and Tyson Barrie comes out. So it's going to be one of those nights where it'll be fun watching the coaches do their thing. There's a shot that sails high over the net to Iginla on the right side. And that one comes outside the line. Paul Stastny back in his own zone. And now heading up ice is Cole up the right side. Jaden Schwartz on a different line tonight as the puck slides off Barry's stick right to Semyon Varlamov. So Ken Hitchcock tinkering a little bit with his lines.
Again, he likes chemistry experiments and he likes to get his players' attention. One of the players whose attention he's had ever since he turned pro out of Colorado College has been Jaden Schwartz. You talk about one of the smartest players in the league in terms of actual hockey sense right there. Jaden Schwartz out of Wilcox, Saskatchewan, Chris.
Face-off won by the Blues. Pietrangelo sends it wide of the net. Oshie back out and a shot right on goal. You mentioned Schwartz, and I asked Ken Hitchcock this morning, is there a guy faster than Nathan MacKinnon? And he had Schwartz in that conversation.
Part of that is because of his hockey sense. I mean, Jaden just understands the sport so well. Phenomenal talent, especially as an undersized guy.
Face-off won by Ryan O'Reilly. The Blues, the top face-off team in the league, and they'll keep it in. Iginla. Now MacKinnon with the puck, and he'll slide it out to center ice. Oshie is there, and he'll send it right back in. The Blues have not started quickly in the last few games, Pierre. They've come on strong as the game has continued, but they were a little concerned about their opening 10 minutes. Here's MacKinnon with the shot that goes wide of the goal. Steen lets it slide out to center. Reclaimed, and here's the captain Landeskog from his side of center, flipping it down the ice, and Pietrangelo will get control. Alex Pietrangelo to the red line and in. Tarasenko after it. Jan Hejda will get there first for the Avalanche. So Tarasenko along with Berglund and Laterra. Puck back, and Barrett Jackman with Cody McLeod in slipstream. Puck sent out of the reach of Johnson down the ice. That's an icing call against the Blues.
You know, one of the things about Colorado that's so underappreciated is their depth and goal. Everybody knows about Semyon and Varlamov. How about Calvin Pickard, Chris, and the way he's played for the Colorado Avalanche? Varlamov's been outstanding. So you've got two goaltenders who are not overly old and tremendously gifted.
Kid had a 39-save performance, lost in overtime against the Blues on a game winner by TJ Oshie. But they have had terrific goaltending. One of the top 5 teams in save percentage in the NHL. Another icing call against the Blues.
And the Blues didn't like that one. They were giving it to Shane Heyer. They thought Eric Johnson could have played that puck. Young man, there's Eric Johnson, the first overall pick in 2006. What a career he had. It was only 1 year at the University of Minnesota, but he truly was a golden goal for that 1 year that he was there.
Marc-Andre Clich on the draw, won the face-off, and Elliott just got a piece of that shot. Hot shot from Max Talbot on a face-off win in the blue zone.
Colorado's pushing here physically. St. Louis going to have to step up their game physically, especially the bigger defensemen for Colorado.
Blues are certainly adept at responding in that category. And there's one of the guys who can lead the way, Ryan Reeves, getting control back in his own zone. Lead pass right side, and big Reeves strides into the Avalanche zone, sends it in behind the net, goes after it, gets a piece of Cliche. Max Lapierre following up the fourth line for the Blues, trying to stir things up a little bit. And now it's going to be sent up the wall and past Shattenkirk and out.
And that's why Hitchcock's a good coach. He could sense what was going on, so rather coming right back with his heavy-duty artillery skill-wise, he comes out with his pounders just to send a little message to Colorado. Stop pushing so hard.
Nice move there by McKinnon, and he'll dance through center, chip and chase, and go after it against Pietrangelo. First penalty of the game is coming up. And it's going to be a hooking call against St. Louis. Or is it?
They don't know whether it's Oshie or Pietrangelo, but it's going to be right there, Oshie.
It is TJ Oshie.
Yep. So the deal is now the referee, Ghislain Hebert, has sent a message. Any kind of obstruction, especially when your stick is parallel to the ice, they're going to call it.
Well, this power play is presented by Ford. Avalanche 27th in the league on the power play. Still trying to get that clicking. And the Blues 17th on the kill. Bouwmeester will send them back.
And I got to believe as the season goes along, and especially the second half of the year, our points are a premium. St. Louis penalty kills may get a whole lot better.
Avalanche 2 for 11 on the trip. Duchene with a little give and go. He goes to the net. Now it'll come back to the point. There's McKinnon, top of the circle, and the shot blocked by Pietrangelo. McKinnon trying to retrieve the puck, moves it back to the point. Erik Johnson across. He'll take a return feed at the top. McKinnon in his skates can't get a shot away. They've moved Jarome Iginla back to the point on the power play, although he is in deep at the moment, and he'll set it up off the wall. Duchene drops back. Here is Iginla, and again the pass, not a clean one, into the wheelhouse. Duchene down low. It'll be Landeskog returning it. McKinnon now parked in front. At the point, Erik Johnson. Iginla, no shot yet. Knocked down in front was Landeskog, lost his stick. He'll head to the bench. And McKinnon holds on. Trying to duck away, and a centering pass that cut past Iginla and comes out in just a half minute remaining in the penalty to Oshie. Tyson Barrie will drop it off. And it gets past Tanguay, and they'll have to go back to regroup. Last call, opening power play. Alex Tanguay, good pass, Cody McLeod on the backhand. It goes wide of the net. Played along the boards and off Holden and out. And Oshie back onto the ice. So the Avalanche 0 for 1, unable to capitalize on the first power play of the game, and now Oshie comes out. Up ahead is Barrett Jackman over the line. He's got Berglund with him as he heads deep into Avalanche ice. Berglund will take over, trying to swing away from the checking of O'Reilly. Now Tarasenko feeds the point. Cole a shot, and that's knocked down in front. O'Reilly is up with it, and he'll hand it off to Tyson Barrie. Flips through center. Jackman plays it ahead. Good reach there by Jan Hejda to knock it away. Here's John Mitchell to the attack. Mitchell in, fires, and Elliott makes the stop. Dennis Everberg watching Patrick Berglund in the St. Louis zone up the boards, and they cut it off before it gets to Tarasenko. Back to the point, Holden across. Here's the shot, and a blocker stop by Elliott on a shot by Brad Stewart.
Smart play by Brad Stewart. He moved a little bit to his right. That opened up the shooting avenue for him.
Stewart, the 100th NHL defenseman to play 1,000 games. Had to wait for number 1,000. coming off an injury. Here's Steen dancing in, rolling it, and Varlamov held the short side and made the save. Good dash by Steen. Back to Bouwmeester in the slot, deflected high by Backes. Steen after it again. Oshie up with it. Backes a shot off a leg as that top line starts to buzz in the Avalanche zone. Colorado unable to clear. Pietrangelo fanned on it. Taken to the boards by McKinnon. And Colorado able to play it out, but a little adrenaline burst there by the Blues and their big top line. As Alex Steen with a dangerous dash down the wing, but can't slide it past Varlamov.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Two men that lead by example, David Backes and Gabriel Landeskog. That last sequence for the top line of the Blues was outstanding. Puck's getting in the net. Steen with some skill and some speed. You see Backes right in the face of Varlamov, and at the end, two colliding mules. Those are two big bodies thumping right there, Chris.
David Backes was in a surly mood this morning, did not want to talk about the break, and did not want to talk about his point streak. He was all about tonight. Longest break of the year upcoming for St. Louis. They don't play again for 10 days. Tanguay over the line, sends it into the far corner. Duchesne on the ice. It gets past Iginla, and back out comes St. Louis. Shattenkirk steps up. Kevin Shattenkirk headed to the All-Star game, swings in front. There is Stastny. New line mate tonight, Jaden Schwartz. At the point, here comes the shot. Scores! A blast from Carl Gunnarsson.
Chris, we were just talking about the hockey IQ of Jaden Schwartz. Here's an example of hockey IQ. Starts in the neutral zone. This will be Schwartz inside the zone. It's not where it started, but he'll actually help finish it. Carl Gunnarsson will stick it to the back of the net, but it all starts with Jaden Schwartz moving the puck to Kevin Shattenkirk, who gained the zone. Then they went to work. Bad luck for Varlamov, a deflected puck. But here you see the big shot off of Tanguay and past Varlamov, 1-0.
You saw the reaction of Tanguay. The skipping stone gets past Varlamov, and the icebreaker at 8:06 is Carl Gunnarsson's second of the season. Blues so tough when they score first. 24-1 when scoring the first goal of the game. Here's Barrett Jackman. Rick wide, trying to spring Tarasenko. Following up, it'll be Laterra. And the puck knocked away from Laterra out to center. There's Jori Laterra sending it back in, and he'll get a change for the Blues.
Pretty good find, Jori Laterra. 2009 and 10, he led the Finnish Elite League in scoring. Nice to be able to find players like that that can come help your NHL team out, Chris.
And now playing second line center minutes. There's the goal scorer, Carl Gunnarsson.
Well, I think both teams benefit on that trade. Roman Polak's obviously played very well for Toronto, and Carl Gunnarsson's starting to fit in really well here in St. Louis, don't you think, Chris?
No doubt about it. Gunnarsson recovering from a couple of injuries that impeded his transition, but different kind of players, and the Blues looking more of a good skating. There's a chance in front and an opportunity for Marc-Andre Cliche. In behind the net, Briere, a push back here. Return fire from the Avalanche. And it's the fourth line for Colorado trying to stir things up. Briere steals, and a big stop there as Elliott's able to cover post to post and thwart Daniel Briere.
That's impressive by Colorado. Good board play by their depth players, as you alluded to, in Cliche, Briere, and Talbot. Cliche will get it behind the net. Danny Briere will not stop fighting for it. Great opportunity. And Brian Elliott shuts the door. And here was a little bit earlier. Good active stick. Marc-Andre Cliche gets it to Briere. And then out front, Briere gets a second chance opportunity. So tons of good work by Maxime Talbot, Marc-Andre Cliche, and Danny Briere.
Avalanche got off to a slow start in Tampa on Saturday night. They had 37 shots in the final 45 minutes of that game. Patrick Roy thought it was one of their best managed games of the year. Trying to bounce back from an early goal against. Here's Jaskin on his off wing with a backhand as he returns to the lineup. Joachim Lindstrom had been in for the past couple of games on a third line for St. Louis. Battle along the boards. In the middle of it was Schwartz. There's Stastny at the side of the net. Jaskin puts it in front. And the Avalanche are up with it. And it will be flipped out to center. Shattenkirk ahead. That's off Schwartz. And it will roll down into Colorado territory past the midway mark of this opening period. Here comes Ryan O'Reilly, who scored in that game against the Lightning. Jay Pomeister is back, and an outlet down to the left side. And that pass off a stick and up into the seats. So Carl Gunnarsson has the icebreaker, and the Blues with the lead here in St. Louis.
Coaches are never truly satisfied, but you got to be liking some of the things you're seeing from your team.
Well, we're controlling them down low, and they're controlling us down low. So once we get it out of there, we're fine. Same for them. So whoever's going to win this 3-on-3 low is going to win the hockey game. We got to just keep going.
One of the guys that's going to have to affect that is Kevin Shattenkirk. How have you liked this season so far?
He's been great. He's been really moving his feet. The part I like about he made a huge commitment off the ice during the off season, and his energy is consistent from start of game to the end of game.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.
Gary Hitch was saying this morning the speed of the Avalanche could give his team trouble at times. Of course, the strength and the power of the Blues can be a handful for Colorado as well. Chopped into the St. Louis zone, and Pietrangelo. Short pass. Backus up the right side. Steen along the wall, and he's hounded there by O'Reilly. So they'll try the other side of the ice. TJ Oshie starts out. Did not skate this morning. Still bothered by a foot injury. It's played in front. Pietrangelo shot, and a big stop by Varlamov. With them crashing the net in behind, and what a chance. But Semyon Varlamov with a big stop. And Alex Steen crashing the net behind him.
Another guy with hockey sense, TJ Oshie, knows how to create time and space, chip it, get it back from Backus. Oh, you think he's going to shoot? No, he's going to give it to Pietrangelo with Steen going to the net. What a save by Semyon Varlamov. That is something else, because you got all kinds of traffic. You got pace coming at you, and he was unflappable in that situation.
Maybe the goaltending performance of the year, a 54-save shutout in Chicago.
Oh, that was something for the ages, that one. That reminded me of Ronnie Tugnutt when he was with the Quebec Nordiques going to the old Boston Garden. He faced over 70 shots in that game.
And it felt like about 25 of them were from Raymond Bourque.
Yeah. Ray needed to have a couple days off. His arms were tired.
Patrick Berg going inside the line, and that rolls to Varlamov. And he'll hold on. Let's go inside the glass with Pierre Maguire.
Chris, one of the things I love about coming to St. Louis is the way they run their practices in the morning. It can break down a lot of the things they try to accomplish in games. One of the things, wingers using the offside defense coming out of their own zone. You get little examples of it all the time. Little chip up the boards, find the offside defense, and look at Shattenkirk, 22, jumping into the rush. They really do a great job utilizing the offside defensemen, coming through the neutral zone and coming out of their own zone.
Kevin Shattenkirk tied with Mark Giordano for the league lead in points by a defenseman. There's Eric Johnson up the boards. That was cut off there by Ott, this fourth line for the Blues. With action in the Colorado zone once again. Ott, Lapierre with a shot wide, and Big Ryan Reeves. Barrett Jackman will fire. That doesn't get through. Centered by Ott, and the Avalanche are on it. And out, Talbot unable to hook up there with Briere. It slides down the ice, and Jackman back to get it. Ian Cole up the wall. It gets past Schwartz, and Tyson Barrie gets it back for the Avalanche. Paired with Nate Gennon.
One of the character players in the league, Nate Gennon. Really, really hard-working, industrious player.
And with a creative offensive partner, Barry, here's Iginla trying to snap that shot, and Elliott sprawled on the changeup and reached out to stop it. Tanguay gets it back. Tanguay in front. Iginla unable to get a shot away. Tied up. They get it back and score! Duchesne with the backhand, and it caroms in, and the Avalanche have tied it.
How appropriate is that? Ken Hitchcock just talked about it. We're dominating them down low, and they're dominating us down low. And here's an example of what he's talking about from the Colorado side of things. Kevin Shattenkirk turned his puck over, Chris. So you're going to see they're trying to come up the boards, and Shattenkirk's going to turn it over to Alex Tanguay. Good composure up front to Iginla. They can't get it out. Gunnarsson on the turnover. Duchesne keeps it alive. And watch Gunnarsson. He's just going to battle through, eventually turn it over, and Duchesne with the nifty little spinorama past Brian Elliott.
Tanguay gets his stick on it for the deflection. And so Alex Tanguay has his 14th of the year. Duchesne with that speed in the middle, and the veterans Tanguay and Iginla get the Avalanche back on even terms. A couple of players tied up in front of the net. It was Stewart and Steen. They untangle. Ken Hitchcock going to his top line, looking for response after surrendering the lead, and it's Backes fighting off the boards. Holden gets his stick on that pass intended for Steen.
And here's the domination down low by the other team now.
Landeskog out to center. McKinnon can't get loose, and both teams will make changes. Alex Pietrangelo up ahead for Berglund, over the line with Laterra. Puts on the brakes, waits for the late man. And the shot kicked up by Varlamov. Rebound comes in. Had to make another save right in front of the net. Good sequence for Semyon Varlamov. Laterra's got it again. Looks across. Barrett Jackman there. Tarasenko is on the prowl in the Avalanche zone. And McKinnon back to get it for Colorado. He'll just flip it out to center. Looking for John Mitchell. Quick pass for Tarasenko. Got a little room here. Here's Tarasenko, a shot, and he didn't miss by much. Ken Hitchcock saying that Tarasenko, one of the few scorers in the league who could score from long range. That good a shot.
Yeah, Ovechkin's another one. Phil Kessel, when he's going, is another one, but I agree with that. You talk about quick release points. Tarasenko has one of the quickest in the league.
Hot back in as they roll through four lines here for the Blues. Cody McLeod had to bounce on him, and it comes out to center. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. A 1-1 tie as Lapierre sends it around. Steve Ott in the far corner. He'll play it back to the point. The Blues goal scorer is Gunnarsson. Returned it to Ott, and now Reeves, tracked by Marc-Andre Cliche. Lapierre tries to center. Tyson Barrie intercepts, and he'll try to head north for the Avalanche. He sidesteps Ott, then got it chopped away. A turnover at center. Lapierre back in. Caused the turnover. Can't get a shot away. He'll swing it across. It's centered by Shattenkirk. And now Jaden Schwartz is on it. Here's Schwartz twisting it in front, and just off the stick of Stastny.
What a play by Jaden Schwartz.
Now 2-on-1 the other way. Briere in front. Talbot, and a stop by Elliott on Max Talbot. And a nice feed by Danny Briere. There's that quick counter-strike ability of the Avalanche.
This is an excellent hockey game to start here. Fantastic depth. And great play from everybody.
Bouwmeester wheeling through center. He'll send it down. After it goes Stastny, who has his third point against his former team with an assist on the Gunnarsson goal. Duchesne lost the handle, and Shattenkirk shovels it into the corner. Stastny watched there by Tanguay. It'll come back to Gunnarsson, a shot. That's off the leg of Johnson to the corner. Big Dmitry Yaskin works the boards. Tanguay in to help out, but Yaskin got it back. And now knocked off the stick of Steen. And Hayda will play it away. Iginla will give chase down in the St. Louis zone, and he rides Gunnarsson off the puck and tried to center it. Picked off, and Backes starts the other way. Here's Oshie over the line. Little chip and the ricochet played by Varlamov, who will hold on just under 3 minutes to go in a fast-paced first period. Here in St. Louis, the Avalanche have answered, tied at 1. Tune into the NHL Network on January 23rd through the 25th for live coverage from the 2015 NHL All-Star Weekend. NHL Network, where the NHL gets hockey. Good opening period here in St. Louis. Team tied at 1. Patrick Berglund walks out, and Varlamov makes the stop from point-blank range. Patrick Berglund. Brad Stewart leads the rush, sends it to Everberg, who will roll it down, and Cody McLeod goes after it. Sitting on 99 career fights. Tough way to make a living, Pierre.
He's good at it, though. He really understands his role. He's understood it for a very long time.
Asked him this morning if he gets a bonus for number 100, and I guess if he did, he'd have had it already. Tarasenko a shot, and Varlamov gets a stick on that. Barrett Chapman, who fought Iginla earlier this year, sends it back into the Avalanche zone, and Jan Hejda right in front of his net. And now flipped out by Erik Johnson.
How about Jerome Iginla the other night in Tampa?
Yeah.
With Ryan Callahan. Reminded me a little about the 04 Stanley Cup Final. Iginla and Vinny LeCavalier.
Yeah. Here's Steen, and he fumbled it in a pretty good spot. Iginla gets it back. Steen now, and Tanguay stepped up on him.
He is lucky, Steen, right there, that was Alex Tanguay. He was not an overly physical player. If that was somebody like Cody McLeod, he would have been in big trouble, Steen.
Steen let it go. Now it's played to the side of the net. Alex Steen after it again. Feeds Pietrangelo across for Bouwmeester. That shot went wide of the net. Don't think Varlamov saw it. There's heavy traffic, as there usually is with this Blues line out there. Up the wall, and there is Iginla. Lost the handle. I think he wants a change, and now plays it back to get a change with 1 minute remaining here in the opening period. Blues have outshot the Avalanche 11-8. Swung to Shattenkirk, played it ahead, but kept in by Nick Holden. Holden takes a look, throws it across. Nathan MacKinnon on the far side. Being watched by Lehtera. Landeskog helped out, tried to feed the point. Nobody was there. It's a 2-on-1 the other way, and Landeskog knocks the stick out of the hand of Schwartz, and that will be a penalty against the captain of the Avs.
Now Jaden Schwartz again, solid in his own zone. Patrick Roy knows in his day that probably wasn't a penalty, but in this NHL it is. Jaden Schwartz, one hand on his stick coming out. Landeskog wants to separate him from the puck. Well, he does. Just whacks the stick right out of his hands. So the big-time power play of St. Louis is going to go to work here.
Tied for first in the league. Operating at a cool 25.2%. Steen plays the point. Stastny down low for Backes. Oshie also out there, and Kevin Shattenkirk, who leads the NHL in power play points, fires that with Backes in front, and it will boomerang all the way back in the blue zone with time winding down in the opening period. One last dash led by Steen. Fakes the shot, takes the shot, and Varlamov will cover up with 2.3 seconds to go.
I don't think Patrick Roy is going to like that too much. He just let a deep sigh on the Colorado bench. I know the time's running out, but the pump fake right there gets Hejda to freeze and backs Erik Johnson off. That's a quality scoring chance for Alex Steen.
And maybe a deference to Patrick Roy, who pulls the goaltenders early. With 2.3 seconds to go, Brian Elliott goes to the bench. They get an extra attacker on. Maybe get one more chance. Stastny wins the faceoff. Tarasenko had a glove stop at the horn by Varlamov.
You just love aggressive coaching. Ken Hitchcock, Kurt Muller, Brad Shaw. This is aggressive coaching.
Well,
you know you've got a good face-off man, so Stastny wins face-offs. He won 13 out of 15 the other night. Wins that one clean, and Tarasenko whips it on goal, Chris.
Good stuff to end the period. Shots 12-8 in favor of St. Louis. Stay tuned for the Lexus Intermission Report. with Catherine Tappan, Jeremy Roenick, and Anson Carter. They'll talk about the Avalanche not clicking early and the Islanders torching the Flyers today. Here tonight in St. Louis, 1-1 the score after one. Avalanche and Blues. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by H&R Block. Get your billions back, America. And by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. 1-1 headed to the second period here at the Scott Trade Center. First goal by St. Louis, credited to Carl Gunnarsson, went off Alex Tanguay into the net. The goal by the Avalanche, Pierre, we thought went off Alex Tanguay, but Matt Duchene, who needs a break or two, gets one, and he gets credit for the goal.
He was a whirling dervish on that shift. That entire sequence is a great job by Colorado, dominating down low. And there's a spin move off of Stastny's stick and through the wickets on Brian Elliott. But Ken Hitchcock nailed it, and Anson Carter talked about it in between periods with Catherine and JR. Both these teams know what their organizational strengths and weaknesses are, and they're trying to play to them right now. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins this game, just because down low play is going to matter so much. It really is.
Start the second. The Blues have 1:29 of power play time available. Kirk Muller in charge of that Blues power play that has been so effective. Little ice repair. You're talking about the down low battles that have been waged in this game so far.
Well, it's a down low play by both teams. It's bumping, it's grinding, it's getting bodies to the net, it's trying to win foot races. It's not just St. Louis, it's Colorado as well. What an opportunity for Danny Briere. You see Marc-Andre Cliche. Here's an example for St. Louis. Laterra gets it out front, get bodies to the net. Wick on goal by Patrick Berglund. Cycle play, crashing the net. That's what this game's evolving into right now. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch the last 40 minutes.
The STL line comes out for St. Louis to start the power play in the second period, along with Steen and Shattenkirk on the points. Ryan O'Reilly, Dennis Everberg, first penalty kill tandem up for Patrick Roy, and it's rolled back inside the Blues line. Steen with goals in 5 straight, the 9-game point streak, matching a season best. Short rebound, scores! It's a 10-game point streak for Alex Steen. Jaden Schwartz got it back, and his second try hits the back of the net.
Chris, remember in the first period when Alexander Steen backed everybody off and launched one on goal, and it was a really good save by Semyon Varlamov. This time, same thing. Alexander Steen, he's going to gain the line, back everybody off. One chance for Jaden Schwartz. Don't quit, drive to the net. I'm sure Anson and JR in the studio going, that's exactly what you do. Don't stop. Shoot the puck. Go right to the net. What a goal by St. Louis. But Alex Steen, what a job.
16th goal of the year for the speedy Jaden Schwartz, and that's number 50 in his young NHL career. And the Blues on the power play retake the lead. Here's a shot from the point that Bouwmeester let fly. Varlamov with the stop and a fracas in front. And David Backes in the middle of it.
And again, it's bumping, it's grinding, it's bodies down low, and then bodies to the net on Semyon Varlamov. So board play is mattering so much in this game. And that was a great opportunity by St. Louis. Good solid board play, good support. Back is strong on it. Steen's there to help him out. Dominate the boards, the big body back. You see him try to create separation. He does on Brad Stewart. Then the big shot coming in for Bouwmeester, and Varlamov has to gaze through a maze of players to make the save.
And also took a quick peek behind him. So the Blues regain the lead with their 40th power play goal of the year. Up for Duchene, who now has the Colorado goal, feeding Iginla, trying to crash through. Unable to do so. It'll be kept in by Barrie. And then chopped off his stick. He'll have to reboot out at center ice with Jaskin in pursuit. They'll chase him all the way back into the Avalanche zone and turn it over. A steal there by Schwartz. Yaskin in front of the net, and the pass doesn't arrive. Duchesne with a one-touch pass. Ginla out at center, trying to work his way forward, and he's tied up by Yaskin.
Jaden Schwartz growing on you, Chris?
Just a little bit. Since his return, Pierre, they are 11-0-1 with him in the lineup, so he makes a difference.
Oh, he does. He makes a difference everywhere he's ever been. And I'm sure there are a lot of people watching this in Colorado. Jaden Schwartz and his brother Ryland were great players at Colorado College.
Tarasenko eases it in. Everberg back in his own zone. And now the Avalanche start the breakout with a good pass on the tape for Cody McLeod. 3 hits in the first period for McLeod, so business as usual for number 55. 3 hits for Ryan Reeves of the Blues, and he leads St. Louis in that category, now up to 142. Over the line, Berglund, and a shot off the wing goes wide. Ricochets around, and McLeod trying to track it down there against Jay Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo plus 10 in the month of January. After a bit of a rough time in December, that stick breaks in behind the net on Eric Johnson. He's got to go get a new cue. Or Jan Hejda, excuse me. And he plays it with his skates, gets it ahead to Talbot. Couple of shots for Talbot in the first period, but a glove stop there, handled by Brian Elliott. Well, the biggest Sunday night of them all is on NBC. We'll be live in Glendale, Arizona, with a full day of coverage leading up to the game between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Super Bowl 49, February 1st, only on NBC.
Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, Coach Dungy, Dan Patrick, Rodney. They got it all going on. It's a fun show to watch.
We'll be there all afternoon. And how about the way the Seahawks claim their berth?
Yes.
Wow.
People in Green Bay are very happy. Yikes. By the way, Super Bowl Sunday, East St. Louis Blues will be in Washington. I'll be doing that game with Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk.
Looking forward to that. Barry Trotz has got his team going. Reeves is on the ice, the 4th line for St. Louis. Steve Ott. Now puck played in front of the net and quickly scooped away, and Ott knocks down his man in front. Back the other way. Daniel Briere flipping it high. That's going to hit the netting and halt play.
This is so typical of the way Ken Hitchcock coaches, the way he has transition defense. If you don't back check and play with a purpose, you can't play for this man. So when you watch Colorado thinks they've got numbers going the other way, watch the tracking. This is the 4th line. Ryan Reeves, he knows where to go. Maxime Lapierre, he knows where to go. So the defense are insulated and the puck ends up into the screen. The defense can make an aggressive play because they know they have Lapierre and Ryan Reeves coming back. If you don't do that for Hitchcock, you don't play.
Kirk Muller was saying the demands of the forwards in St. Louis are so high. That puck over the glass, that's going to be a penalty.
It is. This is bad luck. In this situation, real bad luck for Tyson Barrie. I think the puck rolls on him at the last second, and Tyson Barrie, as you know, Chris, unbelievable skill level. He's not doing this on purpose.
Boy, it's tough to give a power play as hot as St. Louis.
See that puck's rolling right there?
Yep.
Can't get it to settle down. He tried.
Good eye.
Feels the pressure of Dmitry Yaskin, but nonetheless, he puts it up and over.
Face-off won by Cleach, and that'll take 15 or 20 seconds off the power play for the Blues. St. Louis scoring on its first advantage of the game. Stastny comes back in, and now Backes returns it to the former Avalanche center. Steen across to the far side. Down low for TJ Oshie. Stastny quickly in front, and it redirects over the net on the pass intended for Backes. Heads up pass there, and now one out of the reach of Steen that will have them recalculating at center. 40 seconds into the power play. Oshie couldn't get around Nate Gannon. Chance to clear. Cleach trying to work the boards, but it's sealed there by Stastny. Now Oshie sends it around to the far side, and Alex Steen is there. Kirk Muller talking about how good Steen's shot is, which you might not anticipate. One of the reasons he's on the point.
Took him a while to develop it, though. Didn't have that in Toronto.
That shot blocked and bounces back out as Cleach tests the stick after the shot block. Goes to the bench and they come back in offside on a close call at the Avalanche line.
I got to tell you, Chris, this is almost like a self-inflicted wound for St. Louis. It's one of the bigger home benches in the league, and a good portion of the bench in the second period goes into the offensive zone of the Blues, and that's why there was an offside. You see how far from that Reebok sign all the way to the end of the bench? That's about as large as any bench in the league for that. So it's something to always watch here in the second period when you're playing in St. Louis.
And it did look like they had something available there on the rush. There's Laterra knocked off balance on a strong play by Johnson. Now Bouwmeester, he lets it fly. A stop by Varlamov, the rebound cleared. 15 seconds left as Everberg, from a bad angle, tests Brian Elliott. And now Pietrangelo. Alex Pietrangelo on 199 career points coming into this game. Another offside at the Avs line.
Dennis Everberg's a great story. Kid that was never drafted, played for Rogala, which is in the Swedish league, and comes over. He had a real good offensive season, but he's from the same hometown as Nick Lidstrom and Patrick Berglund, Västerås, which is a great hockey community in Sweden. But Everberg's a great story because there are a lot of good players that have come out of Rogala over the years, but most of them have been drafted. He was an undrafted player that found his way into the NHL.
Second division player. There's
Correct.
Barry out of the box. He sets it up in front of Duchesne. Just missed on the redirect of the pass from Tanguay. And now Oshie on the counterattack with Backus. Fires it across. Steen out on the right side. Oshie down low. Swings it back to the point. Carl Gunnarsson sends it around and Oshie let it go. Out of the reach of Backus. Right back up top. Gunnarsson shot and it deflects high. So much of the Blues offense generated by those point shots and traffic in front of the net. Shattenkirk looking for more traffic as he tries to sift it through. Steen centers, Tarasenko barging in, unable to get a shot away. Got it again! Bad angle shot, and that hit the side of the net.
The Blues are dominating board play and cycle play. Problematic for Colorado right now.
Tarasenko on the prowl, looking for his 25th of the year. Look at Shattenkirk in there deep as it's flipped out by Colorado. Right on Brian Elliott, who sweeps it away from the on-rushing Jerome McGinley. Up ahead and off the skeet of Schwartz at the Colorado line. Hit for McKinnon. Bouwmeester there. McKinnon will try and get it back along with help from Landeskog. O'Reilly drops it off. Gannon gives it back. The captain Landeskog with support from Tyson Barrie. Into the corner and Tarasenko cut that for St. Louis and brings it out. Bouwmeester now and Carl Gunnarsson. Pass broken up by McKinnon. Played back into the St. Louis zone.
See that? Hitchcock again, that little science experiment back to the STL line. Didn't have them together at the start, had them together now.
Ryan Reeves with a burst and a collision there on the far side as Eric Johnson slowed him up. And wheeling away is Barrie. Tyson Barrie with a move through center. On and lined up. Reeves finishes him off. Lapierre counters. Max Lapierre's shot off a skate wide. But that Reeves hit gets a rise out of the crowd here at the Scott Trade Center.
And Tyson Barrie's got all kinds of skill, but that's how you take skill out of the game.
Here's Jackman stepping up. That shot blocked. Played ahead, and Cody McLeod goes to work. Here's McLeod, and he is stopped inside the line. A roadblock there, and Jaskin got room the other way with a burst. Jaskin across, and that's just out of the reach of Lapierre. Starts to open up a bit. Energy burst, Everberg following after McLeod, and now McLeod takes over for John Mitchell. Unable to control Jaskin. Up on the left side for Stastny, and Jaskin takes a bump from McLeod as he drops it into the Avalanche zone.
His last year of junior, Jaskin had 99 points playing for Moncton. He's a tremendously gifted offensive player.
And a big, strong guy who can play the physical game, too.
Absolutely.
Here's Bouwmeester. Man, that's vacuumed up by Varlamov. As we pass the 9-minute mark of the second period, Jaden Schwartz has his 16th on the power play. Blues with the lead. Let's take a look at our player profile presented by SAP. Jaden Schwartz has his 16th of the year. He has 6 goals in 9 games, points in 9 of the last 11. As you mentioned, Pierre, from Wilcox, Saskatchewan, a lot of players went to Wilcox to play at the legendary Notre Dame school, but not many were born and played in Wilcox, Saskatchewan.
They got to know the grain silo really well, though, if they did come from there.
I say the only red lights in Wilcox are behind the nets.
And the train that picks up the grain. Rod Brind'Amour, former St. Louis Blue player, was drafted out of there.
And the legend of Rod Brind'Amour and the workout room.
Yes, they had to ban the workout room to Rod because he would drop the weights and wake the school up.
Quick shot there, flies high as the Blues go back to the attack. They've outshot the Avalanche. 5-2 in the second period, 19-10 overall.
This has been a good game, huh, Chris? A lot of pace, a lot of hitting, a lot of skill, some good goaltending.
And as we found out this morning, a little animosity between these two teams as the Central Division rivalry builds. Boy, if you're playing in the Central Division this year, you're probably playing pretty well. Every team above 500. Pietrangelo across. Bouwmeester sends it to the net, and Backes missed on the redirect. Looking for a tip again. Backes shot, and he missed the target. Bouwmeester steps up. Blues flexing their muscles here in the second period. And the big boys back on the job. It'll be played to Backes. Rebound scores! T.J. Oshie!
Chris, the pictures don't lie, the effort doesn't lie, and the skill level doesn't lie. Bouwmeester keeps it alive. We talked about the importance of cycle and board play. T.J. Oshie, strong in the puck, moves it behind the net. Steen, he creates space for himself, moves it over to eventually Backes, shot on goal, big rebound, and you see Oshie jump on it, out-muscling Tyson Barrie at the point of attack. That is big-time hockey, and that's playoff-style goal scoring by T.J. Oshie. But what play along the boards by the Blues?
Blues goal, his 13th of the season. Scored by number 74, T.J. Oshie.
Longtime PA announcer Tom Calhoun with the call. In his 1,250th consecutive game, Oshie's 13th. And Alex Pietrangelo has his 200th career point.
You got all kinds of records going there, Chris. Way to go, Mr. Calhoun. 1,250 straight games. What an Iron Man streak for the for the announcer here.
Under 9 minutes remaining, and here come the Blues again. Tarasenko with Laterra. Tarasenko centering it. Back to Jackman, fires, and Varlamov has got that. And the ice tilted here in the second period. T.J. Oshie and the big line of the Blues strike again.
Welcome back to St. Louis. It's become a board fest for St. Louis, just dominating the boards, dominating the slot, winning races. You can understand a little bit of fatigue from Colorado, but this is playoff-style hockey. Anson and JR both know that as they sit in the studio with Catherine Tappan. But you just see the puck movement, the precision, the bodies getting in the net, the spacing. That's just beautiful hockey to watch by David Backes, Alexander Steen, T.J. Oshie.
Going to say earlier, Kirk Muller talked about how taxing it is for the forwards to play St. Louis Blues hockey as it gets flipped up into the bench. And they're looking forward to the break. And maybe they'll look forward to more of the Oshie-O's, which since their release has sparked T.J. Oshie's offensive game. New breakfast of champions.
Yeah, well, they're sitting up there in War Road, Minnesota. Everybody at Izzy's is probably watching this. Way to go up there in War Road, enjoying their Oshie-O's. What a hockey community that is, Chris.
Is it ever?
I know for years you called the Minnesota State High School tournament. You're familiar with War Road and everybody up there.
Yeah, the War Road team was usually represented in the big tournament. Speaking of Minnesota, David Backes has a 9-hour drive ahead of him tomorrow as he heads back to Blaine for the break. Here's Eric Johnson. Although he didn't want to talk about it, just focusing on this. And here they come again. Lapierre centers across. Reeves couldn't reach that. Ian Cole steps up and puts it in behind the net. By the way, congratulations to his former college coach, Jeff Jackson at Notre Dame, who posted win number 400 yesterday against UConn.
How about Ian Cole getting married this summer? He's got to go to Seattle to set up for the wedding during the All-Star break, Chris.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
From Ann Arbor, Michigan, but ended up at Notre Dame.
And his dad was a season ticket holder as he went to dental school at the University of Michigan. Big Ten man. Speaking of Big Ten, how about the job Guy Godowski's doing at Penn State? #1 in the Big Ten. They just come off beating Michigan State. Eddie Olczyk's son is playing there. It's a building program. What a job they've done. Guy Godowski and his staff at Penn State.
Done a terrific job in a hurry, haven't they? Avalanche trying to get some momentum back in this game. They lost it with the first-minute power play goal by Schwartz. And now Oshie has made it a 2-goal St. Louis advantage. Around it goes. Tanguay unable to reach it there. It'll be held in by Pietrangelo. And they'll grind the Avalanche again. Pietrangelo walks up, shot, and Varlamov, who has been busy, makes the stop. Well, the biggest stars in the galaxy about to align for the 2015 NHL All-Star Weekend next Sunday at 5 Eastern. The 2015 Honda NHL All-Star Game with coverage all weekend long, beginning Friday, 7:30 Eastern on NBCSN.
This unforgiving style of St. Louis, the shots are now 23-11. They're just grinding Colorado right into the ice right now. That's what demoralizes you so much when you play against a St. Louis style of play.
So that's 11-3 in this second period. Steen hit just inside the line. Here's Gunnarsson. That pass intended for Backes too far, but Oshie's on it first.
Look at that again. Fantastic domination of the boards.
Backes cycling it back behind the net. Steen sets it up, looks for the open man, and Backes unable to convert on that. Here's Landeskog trying to twist away from the forecheck. And a pass off Brad Stewart. Fired right back in by Gunnarsson. Landeskog kicks it to Holden. He lost it to Schwartz. Schwartz with a goal and an assist. Played ahead, and McKinnon will try and get loose. Unable to catch up with that, but O'Reilly holds it in, swoops in front, can't get the shot away. Kept in by Gannon. O'Reilly on the far side, and now the Blues head north again. Bouwmeester up across the line. Return pass hopped on him. Sent in behind the net. There's Yuri Laterra trying to center. Tarasenko is after it.
Landeskog pulverized Jaden Schwartz behind the play. That was that thump you heard along the boards.
As the Avalanche look for some pushback. Icing call. Looks like Schwartz is okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's like a super ball. He just keeps bouncing and bouncing here. That's the big body. That is a thump and a half. What a story on Jaden Schwartz. His sister Mandy passed away. She was at Yale University, passed away from cancer. He switched from number 9 to number 17, and Bert Godin, the trainer here in St. Louis for years, had to get him to change his number by July 15th, and the only way he was able to do it is because Vladdy Sobotka went to go play over in Russia in the KHL in Omsk. So it was a great team effort by everybody here in St. Louis to get Mandy's old number at Yale on Jaden's back here in St. Louis.
Jaden, who attended Colorado College, so familiar to some of the fans watching, cheering for the Avalanche tonight. Here is a shot on from Gunnarsson. And almost all the play in the second period down in this end. That one gets away from Shattenkirk, and he'll have to reboot. Talking to Kevin Shattenkirk about his first All-Star experience as a rookie, and got to sit beside Nick Lidstrom in the room.
That was great. When he was telling you that story, his eyes just lit up. It's fantastic, the enthusiasm he had.
One of the great reasons they send the youngsters to get involved with the All-Star Weekend, and now Shattenkirk back as a legitimate All-Star. Here's Oshie back in again, still with it, and he rolled it wide. Check that, Ryan Reeves, excuse me, with a little bit of a TJ Oshie move.
Ryan Reeves was looking like his father when he played for Winnipeg in the CFL.
Hit the hole and went for some extra yardage.
Yeah, real good running back his dad was in the CFL.
Average over 1,000 yards a season rushing in his 5 years. Puck in front as Duchesne centered that, and now Boschmeister. Or Pietrangelo starts back the other way. He'll drop it in. Jaskin after it against Eric Johnson, who rides him off the puck. Jan Hejda up for a Ginlup. Up at center ice, Tanguay and Johnson can't get loose, and Berglund dancing back in. And his shot is handled by Varlamov. Well, TJ Oshie's got one, and he's going to hand off a souvenir. 3-1 Blues. Watch the NHL on NBC Live on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone with NBC Sports Live Extra. Download the app or go to NBC Sports/Live Extra and watch the biggest events anywhere, anytime. Here, the shots were even at 5 apiece. Since then, the Blues have outshot the Avalanche 20-6.
Yep.
That stat didn't surprise you, did it?
No, sir. Not when you see a team forecheck like this and dominate the cycle game like they are.
Puck out at center. John Mitchell after it. Comes up with it. He's got Everberg to the net. Off his skate to the stop by Elliott.
Great stop by Elliott right there, and a nice job by Everberg going to the net.
Mitchell back in his own zone. Brad Stewart pushing it ahead. Looking for McLeod, who fires it in behind the net. After it goes Everberg. It'll be kept in at the line. Barry sends it toward the net, and that was blocked by Stastny. From the corner, it's cycled back. Mitchell blows a tire, but comes up with the puck. John Mitchell to the point. Tyson Barrie looks for a shooting lane. Mitchell will shoot, and he fanned on that.
Look out.
And back the other way, a 2-on-1. Berglund getting back in a hurry. There's a stop by Varlamov as Gannon recovered, taking away the 2-on-1.
Oh, Stastny wants this one back, Chris. I think the puck roll on him at the last second. Good composure by Patrick Berglund. Ian Cole's going to the net. And right here for Stastny, just can't get good wood on it. But Everberg goes hard to the net, presents a target. Good opportunity. Brian Elliott shuts down the lower part of the net. Bang, bang play for the young man out of Västerås.
From the face-off, straight ahead goes Daniel Briere. Down the right side, plays it in. Cleach in front, and a good paddle stop to block the centering effort by Brian Elliott. Tarasenko trying to barge in off the right wing, and Jan Hejda denies that. Under 2 minutes left in period 2. Gunnarsson through center. Back in, fires it around. Laterra lets it go. Sent deep, and Tarasenko after it. Chipped away by Eric Johnson. First Avalanche defenseman headed to the All-Star game since Rob Blake, whose number was honored in Los Angeles on Saturday. Let's take a look at the upcoming games. Tomorrow, 6:30 on NBCSN. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Wednesday, it's Wednesday night rivalry. Chicago, Pittsburgh, LA and San Jose. What you got this week, Pierre?
I'll be in Pittsburgh. I'm heading back there tomorrow. Be working with Eddie and Doc, Chicago Blackhawks, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then on my way to Columbus.
Pittsburgh and Philly.
There's always a lot of love there.
Yeah, sparks usually are flying.
Yes, sir. And it's urgent time now for the Flyers, and I think everybody knows it. And it looks like they lost another defenseman today in Carlo Koliakovo.
And can't afford that. Here's Pietrangelo playing it off, and a hot shot handled by Varlamov. A dangerous shot there from Steve Ott. Bouwmeester intercepts a quick counter, and there was Oshie just getting to the bench, as you referenced earlier, Pierre. Otherwise, that play was offside, but Oshie did a good job of hustling to get off, and Steve Ott with the latest Blues chance.
Steve Ott is such an underrated player. In the 2000 draft, he was a first-round pick, 25th overall. He's playing as a fourth-line player now. What a hot shot. One-timer for Ott, who had a brilliant junior career with the Windsor Spitfires.
That reverse angle showed you there was a little room short side.
That's the thing. His skill level's never really truly been appreciated because he's such a super agitator.
Ken Hitchcock mentions he's a guy whose minutes go up in the third period when he'll play up in the lineup to help protect the lead.
Because he has that skill level in hockey sense you have to have.
Well, the Avalanche could lose a late goal here. They need one to get within one. Dying seconds of the period. Here's O'Reilly. Do they get a shot away? O'Reilly will swing it back deep in behind the net, running out of time. And the horn sounds. Big second period for the home team. Well, stay tuned for the Discover Card Intermission Report with Catherine Tappan, Jeremy Roenick, Anson Carter. They'll talk about that top line that continues to power the Blues. And the Maple Leafs continue to struggle. Shots through 40 minutes now, 27-13. Jaden Schwartz with that first-minute power play goal. TJ Oshie makes it a 2-goal lead. It's 3-1 after 2 for St. Louis. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. 2 of the second, a 3-1 lead headed to the third for the St. Louis Blues. Let's take a look at the head and shoulders storyline.
Well, the storyline hasn't changed. Physical play by everybody on the Blues roster. Skilled players, role players, doesn't matter. It's equal opportunity hitting. And then some great goaltending from Semyon Varlamov. He's been huge tonight, keeping the Colorado Avalanche in the game. And finally, it's a skill level off the cycle. Catherine Tappan called it a playoff style of goal. She couldn't be more right. TJ Oshie jamming it to the back of the net.
So the big boys fatten their stats, and in that second period, the shot attempts 27-9 in favor of St. Louis.
They are a playoff-style team now, boy. St. Louis Blues, would you agree, Chris?
No question. Showing that tonight. Let's see what kind of pushback we get from the Avalanche in the third as they wrap up a 5-game road trip, 4 points in the first 4 games. And they closed hard in the game on Saturday night in Tampa. A goal 7 seconds from the end with the extra attacker out to tie that game and salvage a point.
And that man's one of the guys that's starting to heat up for Colorado, which is good news. Won a gold medal last year with Team Canada, playing for Mike Babcock in Sochi.
Been a frustrating year. He's had some slumps that he's battled out of, and got a goal tonight on a bounce that he hasn't been getting. And maybe that's going to ignite Matt Duchene, who has led the Avalanche in scoring the past 2 years. 70 points last season. But the young guns have found the offense hard to generate this year. Need some here in the third period. Brad Stewart on the back line with Nick Holden. Jaskin out there in a forechecking role for St. Louis. Pass through center, and Everberg will shovel it in and trigger a change for the Avalanche. Up the boards it goes, and here's Jaskin looking rink wide out of the reach of Stastny, and it rolls right onto Varlamov. Lovecraft is looking for the most passionate hockey community in America. Nominate your community for a chance to host an NHL preseason game plus $150,000 in arena upgrades. Nominations now open. Kraft Hockeyville for the love of hockey. And Pierre, so many deserving places. You mentioned one in the second period.
Yeah, well, I'm going to vote for my community. Come on, New Canaan, Connecticut, let's go. That's Pat Giretti's hometown. Kevin Shattenkirk played just down the street in Greenwich at Brunswick. academy for John Riley. Let's go, New Canaan.
It'll be your shortest trip for a preseason game yet. Petrangelo back at his own line. He has his 200th NHL point here tonight. Iginla flips it in and goes after it against an old teammate, Jay Bouwmeester. Now O'Reilly's on it. He's got Iginla in the high slot, unable to get a shot away. Different line combination here, and Landeskog ripped that high.
Good push by Colorado right now.
David Backes starts back for the Blues. The shot by Steen doesn't get through, and O'Reilly collects it in his own zone. Fresh troops come over the boards. Tyson Barrie now moved ahead onto the right side, and it's McKinnon. He's checked, sent back in.
Speaking of frustrating years, poor Nathan McKinnon, last year Rookie of the Year. Tough year this year in the second year.
Putting so much pressure on himself to be a dominant player, and it'll come.
Oh, he's a tremendous talent. 2 years at Shattuck St. Mary's, 2 years at Halifax in the Quebec Major Junior League. It's going to be there.
Area side of the net, and Elliott there to freeze it to make sure McKinnon doesn't get loose. And now Talbot got a little shot that wants to get back. And Shattenkirk.
And that's Maxime Talbot's game. I mean, he's a Stanley Cup winner. He's a proud man. He's going to push back. He's not going to mail anything in. Elliott freezes a puck, and you see Maxime try to force a turnover because he saw the puck on the ice. Shattenkirk doesn't like it. Gunnarsson doesn't like it. And a little pushback. You know what? I think, Chris, you got to really have Kevin Shattenkirk be part of the discussion for the Norris Trophy. I don't think that's out of line.
Don't think so either. Of course, the guy he's tied with in points. Mark Giordano getting a lot of attention.
As he should as well.
Yes.
What a job they've done in Calgary. Bob Hartley and the Calgary Flames staff, outstanding work.
What about Eric Johnson?
He deserves some mention as well. I think Shea Weber's going to be tough to beat, though.
I was going to say, then there are the traditional candidates.
It's going to be tough to beat in Nashville if this keeps going.
Blues trying to move within 2 of the Nashville Predators. Everberg intercepts. How about the Colorado schedule? They've got Boston next, and then back-to-back against the Nashville Predators.
And then they go to Dallas, so no, it's not easy at all. Their schedule's going to become pretty tough here.
And the only downside of a 10-day break for the Blues is if Nashville keeps playing, they can extend that lead. And Ken Hitchcock was mentioning that, and you go on a tear here, you go 6-0-1 and don't pick up much ground, if any.
And that's the hardest part after the All-Star break is if you're double-digit points out, you virtually have to win every game just to get back in the race because you're running out of racetrack every single night.
And that's what's been impressive about Colorado, going 10-4-4. They've reeled that back into at least a manageable, down 3 points out of the wild card when it was a lot more even a few weeks ago.
Jerome Iginla just told Maxime Lapierre, who was talking to him, the next time you're on the ice, if you want to oblige me, I'd be more than happy to fight you.
And he's not kidding.
Exactly.
Landeskog with the shot. It goes off Elliott onto the screen.
Jerome Iginla and Dmitry Yashkin had a little bit of a collision, and you talked about it, Chris. Yashkin's a physical guy, and so Jerome doesn't like it. He's a little bit frustrated. During that, that's where you see Jerome talking, and that continued as Maxime Lapierre kept talking to him. Dmitry Yashkin's a good story, though, Chris. Born in Omsk in Russia, which is in Siberia, but he grew up in the Czech Republic. It's a little bit like the reverse of Peter Bondra, who was born in Russia but grew up in Slovakia.
Played on the World Junior teams for the Czech Republic. And he's made a statement tonight. He wants back in the lineup full time.
Agreed. Ken Hitchcock was saying he's got to accept his role as a third-line player right now. We know he's going to be a top 6, but he's got to accept his role as a third-line player. And if he does, then eventually he'll work his way into the top 6.
And tonight he replaces Lindstrom in the lineup. Nice to have that depth.
Doug Armstrong and Al McInnes and the entire crew here have done a great job. John Davidson before them, building a really solid infrastructure of players. And they've got a couple coming. Robbie Fabry's a tremendous player. Ty Ratty's another good player. They got some players coming.
Puck kept in at the line. A shot doesn't get through. Ricochets over to Tarasenko. Quickly ahead, Jaden Schwartz. Back to Tarasenko. In. Shot. Stop. Rebound. And that's stopped.
His countrymen just ate him alive. What a job by Varlamov again.
Doing what he can to keep the Avalanche in this game. Tarasenko looking for number 25 on the year.
Jaden Schwartz's hockey sense again.
Here's Tarasenko again. Jaden Schwartz low. Centers, and Tarasenko unable to convert that. They haven't been going in with the same regularity for Tarasenko, but it looks like there's a few coming.
Another great play by Schwartz. Now he's got to get it deep. He knows it so he can get a line change.
Good back pressure there by Landeskog. Change is completed by the Blues. A nifty shift there by Barry. Swung it to an open wing. And now back the other way. Dashes Ott. Here's Steve Ott working in. Shot off a leg wide. He'll chase after it against Tyson Barrie. Knocked out of midair by Duchesne, but not out. Ricocheted in front. Ott tried to jam it there. Now Nathan MacKinnon swiveling away from the checking of Ott, playing it high, and it comes outside the line. Approaching 7 minutes of this third period, still 3-1 Blues. Again, in that short pass to the Avalanche goal scorer Duchesne. Now up ahead, and after it there is Iginla.
Yeah, look where he went after.
Got a piece of Jaskin. Jackman, who had that bout with Iginla earlier this year, knocked him off stride, and it comes out to center. Nick Holden ahead. Tanguay can't barge through. Back the other way. Berglund works his way to the line and then runs into Brad Stewart. John Mitchell just sends it to the Blues line. It hopped on Jay Bouwmeester all the way to Brian Elliott. Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo were separated for a while. Back as the top pair in St. Louis, and as mentioned, a +10 coming into this game in the month of January.
Yeah, they're the Gold Dust twins on the back end. Not too many tandems better than those two.
John Mitchell venturing in. There's Big Everberg. Watched by Ian Cole.
Penalty coming.
And a penalty will give the Avalanche a power play just past the 8-minute mark. A holding call. Ken Hitchcock's crew is going to be shorthanded. And a chance to get back in it after Tarasenko had a chance to finish it.
Now to the power play go the Colorado Avalanche. Ian Cole out of Notre Dame gets called for the hold right there. And then he doesn't like the call. He goes to Eric Furlat, who worked yesterday in Pittsburgh. Working here tonight in St. Louis.
We had a long conversation about that play, maybe over a minute. Cole told us this morning he's a detailed guy. Brad Shaw's been key in his development here.
Cole played 2 real good World Junior for the United States. One over Pardubice in the Czech Republic and the other in Ottawa. He was an outstanding player for the Americans in both of those events.
So a critical power play here for the Avalanche. Their second of the game did not register a shot on their first. Need one to get within one. Landeskog's got it. McKinnon goes to the front of the net. There's Duchesne ducking past David Backes, and he'll set things up off the half boards. Trying to go rink wide for Iginla.
Jerome talked about, or sorry, JR talked about this. The passing hasn't been nearly accurate enough by Colorado on the power play.
2 or 3 times, not in the wheelhouse of the trigger man they're looking for. Duchesne now to the attack. In behind. Nathan MacKinnon. Landeskog's in front. Iginla shot! And that went off target. Pietrangelo knocked down in front of the net. Comes across. Knifed by Elliott. Here it's down low. Duchesne, and he tried to go upstairs, and he went way up. A couple of stories up and onto the netting.
Well, the Blues are really upset. They think Gabriel Landeskog interfered with Alex Pietrangelo right in front of Brian Elliott. And let's get a look. You see Pietrangelo's on the ice. And who's right next to him? Gabriel Landeskog. But they were really ticked off on the St. Louis bench about that. Alex Steen whispering sweet nothing into Nate McKinnon's ears. And let's see what happens. So yeah, that's a push. That's a dangerous play actually, Chris.
Yeah.
Because Pietrangelo is defenseless there. If that puck hits him up high, it's a dangerous play.
Kevin Shattenkirk just went over to Eric Furlan to re-emphasize that. 35 seconds remaining in the Cole penalty. Tyson Barrie drops it off. Avalanche gain access to the blue zone. Nick Holden's out there now. O'Reilly to the far side. Tanguay, Cody McLeod in front. He'll try to create some havoc. It'll come back to Barrie, a shot, and he whistled that wide. And it will ricochet back out to center.
Didn't miss by much there. Great idea, great concept of a play by Tyson Barrie.
Barrie rolls it in, but not deep. Blues clear. That'll do it. Pull back out. Under 10 left. Ryan O'Reilly works his way through center. Now it's Tanguay over the line on the left flank. Cody McLeod on the other side. A good collision with Ott. McLeod got the best of that. Ott will go back at him, and the two battering Rams meet in the corner. Neither a stranger to that kind of action.
No, they're good at it. They know their roles.
Here comes Tarasenko. Great move inside, and another hot shot just misses. Boy, Tarasenko's close to busting out again.
Is he ever?
At the point, Cole sends it deep. Loose in front and deflected by Steen. Alex Steen after it. Extended his point streak to 10 here tonight. That pass gets away, and out at center, it's up for grabs, and Briere will roll it down.
They switched up the lines. They put Tarasenko with Backes and Steen to try to get him a little bit more flow. Now they have Oshie playing with Jaden Schwartz and Laterra. Just flip-flopping the wings.
And the Blues up with it. It'll be Schwartz cycling it back into the corner. And Oshie's on it. Laterra in front, but Oshie unable to center that. Schwartz again, and Ryan O'Reilly reclaims for Colorado.
Chris, is there a better tinkerer of the lines during a game than Ken Hitchcock right now in this league?
Senses who's going, and
unbelievable. The guy in Detroit's pretty darn good at it, too.
Yeah, you probably have to mention him.
Yep. Joel Quenneville's not half bad at it either in Chicago, and Vigneault's been outstanding in New York. But
we haven't mentioned, though, Ken Hitchcock moved ahead of Pat Quinn with his last win against Toronto. 5th all-time.
Somebody that I know Ken really respects, the late Pat Quinn. They worked together in 2 Olympics, winning gold in 2002 in Salt Lake City.
Next up on the list, that great ladder for Hitchcock to climb is Dick Irvin Sr.
That's big time.
Yeah, you're getting into the Hall of Fame stuff.
You are.
Jaskin taking it away for the Blues and playing it back to the Avalanche line.
Coach Irvin won Stanley Cups in Montreal and Toronto.
Trying to figure out how Pat Quinn's not in the Hall. He will be.
Took Pat Burns long enough too, didn't it?
Pat Quinn was one of the people in charge of the Hall of Fame selections and probably made sure he wasn't the guy they were focused on. The kind of guy Pat Quinn was. Everberg trying to kick it loose, does to Hayda. Out comes John Mitchell. And a pass for Everberg, hopped on him. Turned away, but now a loose puck gobbled up by McLeod. Can't get a shot away as Bouwmeester closed quickly on him. Another loose puck, Everberg almost had it, but now the Blues are out. Ryan Reeves has the move. Here he comes, dropping it off, Lapierre, and it's kicked out. Loose puck in front. Varlamov looks sharp on that. It'll come back to Cole, and a glove save as Varlamov reels that back in. 6:31 to go. It remains 3-1 Blues. Don't miss a Wednesday night rivalry doubleheader on NBCSN. First, Jonathan Toews of the Blackhawks take on Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. And then Jonathan Quick and the Kings take on Logan Couture and the Sharks in a battle for California. It all starts 7 Eastern on NBCSN. Wednesday night, rivalry night. Couple of good matchups there.
Oh yeah, Tom Ward, the head coach at Shattuck St. Mary's in Faribault, Minnesota. He's watching that saying, I had Taves, I had Crosby, I had McKinnon, I had Derek Stepan. I had a few other good players too out there in Shattuck.
Pretty good resume.
Oh yeah. J.P. Parise, the late J.P. Parise, did a heck of a job building that program.
Here comes Tanguay walking in, tried to feed Iginla. Pass broken up by Shattenkirk. Iginla centers and just off the stick. Back to the point. Stewart fires. Loose in front. Duchesne looks for it. And they get it out of there. Carl Gunnarsson with the defensive play on a push from Colorado. Brad Stewart from Rocky Mountain House, so he's in the right place playing for Colorado, although it's Rocky Mountain House, Alberta.
He was a tremendous junior player with the Regina Pats and the Calgary Hitmen, Chris, going to the Memorial Cup in 1999, playing in Ottawa, just losing in the final.
He's a pro, isn't he?
Oh boy, what a pro. And a Stanley Cup winner.
Here's a turnover, knocked off the stick of McKinnon. Stewart won with the Detroit Red Wings. And he'll go back to get it in his own zone as Varlamov elects to freeze the puck with Jaden Schwartz, who's been prominent tonight, right on the doorstep. 5:09 to go. Shots are 30-15. Last time the Avalanche were in St. Louis, December 29th, they had a season-low 60 shots. Here's what's at stake tonight. Blues trying to move within 2 of the Predators. Avalanche trying to leapfrog Dallas, who moved ahead of them. And again, Colorado started the night 3 points out of the final wild card spot in the Western Conference, wrapping up a 5-game trip through the Southeast and then into St. Louis. They had 4 points in the first 4 games. Probably played better than the 4 points that they were rewarded with. But here tonight, the Blues have been the better team so far.
Colorado can copy this style St. Louis is imposing right now on them and say, man, that's how you want to play. I mean, just phenomenal. The amount of turnovers they're forcing, board play, cycle play.
Avalanche need a Seahawk finish and a Ginla shot off a stick, and that carried wide of the net.
Nice feed by Tyson Barrie.
That was in Jerome's wheelhouse.
Yes, it was.
Now Schwartz with a takeaway in the Avalanche zone. Hands it off to Backes. Oshie behind the net, looking to center, and the pass doesn't reach Backes. Iginla, an outlet on the tape. Up ahead, Tanguay with Duchesne. Tried to burst in on the backhand. Goes wide off the stick of the Avalanche goal scorer. Iginla took a run at Backes, but 3 Blues back into Colorado ice. Oshie shot that went a foot wide. There's Iginla. And it comes outside the line, and Pietrangelo reclaims possession. Feeds it ahead. And back in is Laterra. Sent around for Brad Stewart. Under 3.5 to go. Avalanche need a Seattle Seahawk finish here. Landeskog working in on the backhand. Rolled loose in front. And it's going to draw another penalty. And for the 3rd time in this game, Colorado will have a power play.
High stick in the neutral zone on Nathan McKinnon. He's not cut, so it'll only be of the 2-minute variety. Yuri Laterra comes up with the high stick on the back check and gets Nathan McKinnon right in the head. Eric Furlat makes that call. Pretty easy call for him.
Gary, you mentioned while we were off air, no shots in the power play for Colorado in 2 chances tonight, and just 3 shots allowed in the last 11 shorthanded by the Blues.
That is correct.
That is penalty killing. Here's a chance for Holden, Barrie, and another. Oh no, Patrick Wise pulling the goalie for the extra attacker. Thought maybe there was another delayed call, but this is Patrick Waugh doing what he does, and that's off the broken stick. And an unfortunate bounce for the Avalanche sends the puck deep in the Colorado zone. Well, Patrick Roy has done this with great effectiveness in his year and a half as a head coach here in the NHL. 6 skaters to 4, puck bounced out, and Johnson back to get it.
The only problem when you're on the power play and the other team's shorthanded, there's no penalty for icing the puck, so they can just wire it at any time.
First minute of the power play done, and as they invade, an extra move at the line puts it offside. 1 minute left in the power play, and there's Varlamov on the bench.
Can't blame him. What a game he's played, Semyon Varlamov. Originally drafted by the Washington Capitals, and George McPhee, the former general manager there, had so much faith in him that they were stockpiled with goalies, so they traded him for a first-round pick.
Steen to take the face-off. Won by Nathan McKinnon. Little back pass broken up. Bouwmeester misses the open net. 50 seconds of power play time left. Barrie wires it in. Still looking for their first power play shot. Along the boards it goes. And back to McKinnon, who has to recalculate at center. Barrie fires it around again. Iginla along the wall. Pietrangelo couldn't get it by him the first time, and now gets it out. Couple dozen seconds remaining, and time running out on Colorado. McKinnon fired it in, sent right back out, and there's another shot that just misses the empty net.
Shattenkirk was going for it.
Will Brian Elliott go for it?
Oh, well, we saw St. Louis. Well, actually, no, Red O'Barrow. Yeah. Playing in the American Hockey League, do it.
Another no-shot power play. Red O'Barrow scored. Asked Varlamov about that this morning. He said, I've never tried it, but after watching Barra, I'd like to do it. Here's Ryan O'Reilly kicking the shot away. Still 6 attackers out. Shot through, and Elliott through all that traffic. And Cody McLeod finds it and holds it.
I give Colorado credit. They're not quitting on this thing at all. This third period, they've actually been harder on the puck. Alex Tanguay whips it on goal. Everberg's there. Cody McLeod is there, and they just can't get it to go. And, you know, you look at it, when it's all said and done, Colorado's pushing, but they just don't have enough. And for Kevin Shattenkirk, who's had a great offensive season, he's going to go back and fire it high, far, but just wide.
Avalanche have called a timeout. 55.1 seconds remaining. Blues trying to put this one in the bank and take a break for 10 days. Avalanche got the Boston Bruins on Wednesday night as they return home. So let's see what they've drawn up at the Colorado bench. Got to win a faceoff as Backes hunkers down against O'Reilly and pulls it back. Pietrangelo along the boards, bounce past Barrie and out.
What a weapon to have. David Backes, a right-hand shot on that side of the ice to win faceoffs.
Most of the fans here, over 19,000 strong, on their feet. Final minute, loose in front. O'Reilly stopped. What a chance that was to get within one. Half minute to go. Barrie holds up and now fires it back in as they tag up. Cody McLeod along the wall, gloved down by Erik Johnson. Trying to sift it through, off a stick. Everberg chops at it, centered again. O'Reilly couldn't get a stick on it. Puck cleared. This will be icing. And 11 seconds on the clock. They might readjust that by a tick or two.
Backes has different sticks that he uses. One of them he uses for penalty killing, and one of them he uses for face-off situations. Here's some great Quality chances for Colorado out front. What a save off the O'Reilly opportunity. And watch TJ Oshie in this situation, Chris. He's going to make a little bit of a block coming out, and David Backes is there to help him out on the O'Reilly chance.
We haven't talked a lot about Brian Elliott tonight. This made his 17th save. But after 5 weeks out with a knee sprain, he's back. And Ken Hitchcock thinks this is the best he's played.
He had a chance to spend some time with Marty Brodeur, so did Jake Allen. And when you have players like that who are iconic players, you can learn a lot when they're around your franchise. Nobody really knows what Marty's going to do right now. There's a look at Jake Allen. But I'm sure Marty, during his time there, worked really well with both those players.
Marty had that 16-save shutout against Colorado on the 9th. Face-off one, and that hit the pipe. Eric Johnson off metal. Puck sent down the ice again. And an icing call with 2 seconds to go.
David Backes isn't happy with John Grant because he thought he dropped the puck too quickly. And that's why the face-off was so cleanly won.
Here's how close Eric Johnson comes to his 13th.
Good shot by Johnson, clean face-off win. See, we got Steen talking to the linesman now. Wait till we get our sticks down.
Backes just barged right into Duchesne that time.
Yeah.
And from the draw, Ginla charges in. Points out. Game over. And Backes and Ginla are going to continue the debate.
Jerome's not happy with Lapierre.
Didn't like those 2 runs at Duchesne off the face-off. But it's in the books. The Blues will go on a break on a season-high 8-game point streak. Now 7-0-1. Backes continues to talk to the Avalanche, who leave and finish their road trip with 4 points in their 5-game swing. Our final score, Blues win it 3-1. After the break, we'll check in with Catherine Tappan, Jeremy Roenick, and Anson Carter for NHL Overtime. And Pierre McGuire will have an interview with one of the stars of this game. Thanks for watching. 3-1 the final. So long from St. Louis.